Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Look, let's talk about Will Smith and Chris Rock, okay? Although I'm a boxing enthusiast, man, I love boxing. You know, Will Smith kind of falls into that category, in my opinion. A lot of people are talking about what happened. A lot of people are justifying it, saying Chris Rock should have never made a comment about, Jada Pinkett and her hairstyle. But look, he's a comedian. So, comedians get to say a lot of things. But I'm not here to get into all that. I'm here to talk about Will Smith and, should he or should he not go to jail? See, that's the question. Will Smith is a trained boxer. And my understanding, he's trained in MMA. He's actually trained underneath, Conor McGregor's instructors. But we all know Will Smith has been training in boxing for quite some time. So even if you watch when Will Smith threw that slap last night, if you haven't seen the video, it's all over YouTube. If you watch the way he threw that right hand, although it was an open hand slap, and you can look here even in the photo that I have pasted in here. Look at his form. Look at where that left hand is. And look at how he pivoted off of his right foot and got his body behind that slap. That's just not some street stuff where a guy walks up and just swings his arm. It's more of an arm punch, arm slap. Will put he pivoted off that foot, got his hip behind it, and got all of his weight behind that slap. But I will say this, slap like that, he should have dropped Chris Rock. So I think Chris Rock can take a slap, but Will Smith cannot take a joke. It's just horrible to see that, You get these boxers out here, he's an actor, but he's trained in boxing, right? So his hands should be lethal weapons. Why is he exempt? Why are we excluding him from that? Okay? Yeah, he's not a professional boxer, but he's done a lot of professional training. He knows how to use his hands. And although he's, I think, 52, 53, he can defend himself. And what he did, someone who's able to defend themselves, they have an advantage of somebody in a hand-to-hand combat. And him to walk up to Chris Rock, who was just obviously not expecting Will Smith to slap him, hands behind his back, and for Will Smith to just, chump him like that is horrible. In my opinion, they need to throw Will Smith in the joint. Okay, I'm not getting into whether Chris Rock was right or wrong. He's a comedian, man. Comedians make fun of everybody. And, it's my understanding, he didn't know anything about Jada Pinkett Smith's condition. I didn't. A lot of people didn't. That family's weird anyway, man. Everybody's shaving off their hair and open relationships and entanglements, the kids dressing, they have their own issues, man. But what Will Smith did is he brought the whole world into his circus of a family. It's horrible, man. But supposedly he went back and he cleared things up with Chris Rock, and now that they've always been like good friends, like family. I guess he knows Chris Rock's wife and children. Of course, Chris Rock knows Jada Pinkett and knows their kids. But Will Smith should have never hit him, man. Like that's like some one-on-one stuff when it comes to just boxing or just any kind of combat sports, but especially boxing, man. You don't do that. He's a bully, man. First of all, he's twice his size. And he can handle himself. You go up and chump somebody like that, man. That's corny, man. That's corny. He's a bully. Because I tell you what, a lot of people are saying, if that was The Rock up there making those jokes, which, Rock has hosted different award ceremonies, different award shows. He makes jokes. That's what they do. Those guys are there to kind of break the ice, put everyone at ease, create a nice mood, nice atmosphere. Everybody thinks a little bit laughable. But Will Smith wouldn't have done that if it was The Rock. But let's forget about that, because, we all know The Rock is a big boy, man. He's real muscular. He's athletic, half Samoan, half black. So there's a lot of pride there in The Rock. So, The Rock's not going to let anybody slap him. But if that was Steve Harvey, okay, he's in his 60s. I don't think Will Smith would have slapped Steve Harvey. If that was Godfrey, another comedian. He wouldn't have slapped Godfrey. You see? So bullies pick and choose who they're gonna come and try to intimidate, especially who they're gonna hit like that. And Will Smith is a chump, man. That's my opinion on that guy. Boxers, you just don't do that, man. You come in the gym, just imagine now. Yeah, he didn't hit him with close fist, but he slapped him. Even in the gym, man. You come in the gym, I've never been a professional boxer. I don't box, man. You come in the gym and sparring. You can see real quick that the guys who come in, maybe you've never sparred them before. Like, I'll give you an example. I was in Germany, and a guy came in the gym. He was telling us how he had won these competitions, and he was the something Eastern European military champion. I mean, a whole spiel, man, and had people in there buying into the story. Me personally, I didn't believe him or not believe him. That was his story. But I know when we got into the spar, I was gonna find out if he was the real deal or not. You know, I'm not saying I was the greatest, but I can handle myself. And you know, when you get in there and somebody hits you, get the best of you, you know. Anybody say that they don't know, they're lying. You know if somebody hits you clean. And you know when you finish that sparring, you feel like, damn, I could have done more, or that guy got the best of me. But then the next couple of rounds, you try to get yours back, but you know. And so anyway, the guy and I, I'm right-handed, but I fought southpaw. And, the sparring started, and I started off orthodox. He wasn't even paying attention to that stuff. Those are things that you watch. If a guy's shadowboxing, I used to watch when a guy comes to the gym. If he's shadowboxing orthodox, I watch him. And then we get in the ring, if he switches to southpaw, I watch him to see if he's trying to throw me off. So I intentionally stood orthodox. And when we first came out, I came out through a jab with the left hand. As we moved around, he didn't even realize I had gotten to a southpaw stance. But anyway, of course, being right-handed, the right hook was a bit harder than what maybe he expected. But he threw a combination that just very sloppy, and I caught them all. And then I just threw a hook off of. He threw a lazy jab, and I just hooked right over it and stood him up. And right then I stopped. And the coach was like, all right, that's it. And he was trying to tell him, like, look, he's right-handed. And I was like, no, let's just stop. I said, because he was hurt, but I realized that he was full of crap with all these Eastern European military titles. Like, all this nonsense, man. He was talking too much. So remember, the loudest person in the crowd is the weakest one. And he was the loudest one to prove to be the weakest one. But anyway, most boxers, man, once you realize, especially like in sparring or working out, you're not there to hurt and kill anyone. And what Will Smith did was just, he just went against everything that I think most boxers believe in. Like, you just don't do that. You know what, Will? If you didn't like what he said, man, then as a man, in the audience, he could have been doing this. He could have been like, all right, that's enough. But you had to go up and just embarrass that man. But Will Smith also embarrassed himself and his family. He made him look weak, man. People, if you didn't want people to know about your wife's condition, although she put it out into the world, but she's not really important. Will Smith is the important one. He's an icon. She's nobody without him. Okay? And that's the truth. But you don't want people to be brought into your world and to focus on her having alopecia. Then, that's just not something you should have done, because people are going to take and run with that. The amount of material you gave comedians, you gave media outlets, you gave YouTubers, you gave everyone off of those actions last night it's not helping you all's cause. And it's not taking attention away from Jada Pinkett and her alopecia. I had alopecia before. I got it twice. And I had like $half size circles, like in the back of my head and on the side. And I remember how that made me feel. But I went to see a dermatologist. He checked it out, and he was like, okay, you have some kind of alopecia. I was like 22 years old. And he gave me the steroid shots in the back of the scalp, and the hair grew back. Then about, 10 years later, actually I had it 3 times. 10 years later, I got another one, I got the steroid shots, and then when I was like, 2016, I got it again. And he gave me the steroid shots and it grew back. I haven't had any issue since. But if you don't want people to really focus on that and talk about that, going up and slapping somebody for making a a joke about his wife. He looking for his wife in GI Jane. You know, that's not going to help the cause. And I tell you what, there's a family of comedians out there, and these are the absolute wrong people for you to give any material to. Don't give them a reason to do a skit on you. And that's those Wayans brothers, man. I can only imagine when they get a hold of this, what they're gonna do with it, run their crazy movies or skits or whatever the hell they choose to do. They're gonna take this around with them. A lot of people are. So anyway, when it comes to Will Smith, let me know what you think. I personally think he should, you know, I'm not for anybody, you know, going to jail and all that. That ain't my style, but I ain't for bullying either, man. And I don't care who he is. You know, if he's gonna go out there, man, and in open hand slap that man like that, you know what, man, that's his choice, that's his right. But then there are consequences, okay? So he got to deal with the consequences. They're talking about taking his Oscar back and maybe not inviting him to the Oscar Awards anymore. You know, that's tap on the wrist type stuff, tap on the hand stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna pull his Oscar back. Let me tell you, man, that ain't how you change that behavior. What's going on with Will Smith is much bigger than him not receiving an Oscar and him not being invited back to the Oscar Awards. What's going on with Will Smith is something that money can't fix. Same thing with him and Kanye West. And I ain't here to get into all that, I'm just telling you. Good thing Kanye West doesn't know how to fight, because he would have been ran up on that boy Pete Davidson, whatever the hell his name is. If Kanye West knew how to throw hands, he would have been ran up on Pete Davidson. But he can't. Will Smith can. But then Will Smith and Kanye have a bunch of other crazy stuff going on with their wives. So them dudes are just not happy. Will Smith is not happy. All that money in the world, and the man's unhappy. And it's sad to see him go out there and risk his freedom, man. You know what I mean? Over a joke. Crazy. Because that would have been anyone else. Doesn't have money, doesn't have those kind of connections, don't have a voice, don't have a platform, and be out of here. You can't, you know what, man, people don't understand the definition of assault. You know what I'm saying? If I come up to you and I just put my hand on you, that's unwanted. I put my hand on you. That's assault, man. You don't have to punch him or slap him. If I just touch you, it's assault. You just can't put your hands on people. Especially when it's not wanted, man. Now, if somebody does something to you and you defend yourself, that's different. But you can't, if someone slaps you and you punch them and they fall to the ground and you come over them and you just start laying into them, you can't do that. And if you choose to, what are the consequences? You're going to the joint. So, that's all I have to say, man. Post your comments below. Let me know what you think. You think Will Smith should go to jail? I personally think, I ain't really for that jail shit, but I think he should get, something, whether it's a week in jail or something. He should get something, man. He shouldn't just get away, because what message is, by not having him face some kind of consequence, what message is he sending to people in the world when it comes to somebody saying something to you that you don't like, or about your wife or your children that you don't like? And to be honest with you, if that was about some jokes about his son or daughter, but I mean like a direct attack, you know, like Chris Rock didn't say, oh, and her alopecia or her medical condition. He just said, looking forward to seeing you in G.I. Jane 2. And he didn't even know about her alopecia. So see, you gotta be properly informed before you make a judgment. Chris Rock is being a comedian. I get the history of what he's been saying over the years and making jokes, but you know, it didn't have to be handled like that. And I think Will Smith needs to go to the joint, because if I walk out here, like I tell you what, the area I live in, you know, pretty nice area, man. But we got people who come out here and, you know, sometimes I think, depending on, you know, people's situations, they feel they can do what the hell they want. There's a lot of people speeding. And my kids are out there playing and stuff like that. And, you know, you think, to be honest with you, man, you know, I lose my cool sometimes, but not to the point where I'm going to put my hands on someone. And I think when kids are out there playing and someone zips right through the crowd of kids playing or right around them, instead of stopping, letting them get out the road. I think that warrants someone to get punched in their mouth or get beat down more than somebody making a comment about somebody's wife cheating G.I. Jane because she has a little haircut. You see? But anyway, that's my opinion. Other people disagree with me, but let me know what you think. I think Will Smith should go to the joint at least for a week or something, man, because obviously he has things going on. When you start reacting like this, let me tell you, it's only going to get worse. You take on every asshole you meet, you're going to be a busy person. And Will Smith, he got a lot of money, but he's going to have a whole lot of people, a whole lot of problems coming his way because it's just getting started. The jokes about him, his wife, about the entanglement, about everything. What he did was breathe life back into a situation that had kind of died down. And now that he kind of fanning that flame and it's starting to kind of rise again, and that's his fault. And it's her fault too for not stopping it. Like that's not, you go home and I think it was Tiffany Haddish or somebody else was like, oh yeah, she need to take real good of him when they go home. Like what? That's crazy, man. Go out there and make him think that it was all right. He go to the joint. But she probably wants that anyway. I'm done talking about that crap, man. Look, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Shout out to all the veterans. And as always, I'm in the breeze.